They say, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. But what happens when you stop loving it? In high school, I was close with a few friends who loved art as much as I did. But when college came around, I was the only one who applied to art school. I asked why, and they said they were afraid that turning art into a job would make it feel like a chore and no longer fun. And honestly, they had a point. The longer I worked professionally, the more I started to feel the will to draw lessen. And I suddenly became very afraid of what my friends had said, afraid that what they had warned had come true. The thing I love was on a path to becoming a thing I hate. But then, thankfully, I saw other artists who always kept their love. Kim Jung Gi's museum is located at the very top of South Korea, so close that when you go, you can actually see North Korea across the border. If you do not know who Kim Jung Gi is, oh my god, I envy you because you get to witness literal magic for the first time in the form of art. He was able to draw huge, intricate illustrations from memory and on site with no reference, and he makes no mistakes. And everything is so remarkably detailed, stuffed to the brim with story and humor. His museum was in construction last year and is now open and serves as a testament to Kim's legacy after his passing in 2022.
Original? Yes, this is original.
Wow. That is so incredible.
And walking through the museum was definitely a testament because this man drew so much. He was constantly drawing, as if he had absolutely no filter from his brain to his hands. I'm not allowed to take any video because it's actually very graphic content. If you plan on going, you should be 18 years or older and don't bring your kids. We were very lucky to be able to get a tour by his lifelong friend Hyunjin Kim, who is an incredible painter by his own right. We were traveling as a group of artists, and so we all excitedly asked him, how does Kim Jung Gi draw this much? To which he answered,
자기 낙서를 배설이라고 했습니다.
for him, it was as natural as going to the bathroom. It just needs to come out. He was a mischievous person who was curious about everything, and he never, ever missed a day of drawing. To know a man went to his very last breath drawing every day because he found it fun was so wonderfully mind-blowing. There was no grind set for him, no 10,000 hour mark to try and hit. There was only curiosity and bliss, and mastery came naturally. This is even more impressive given the culture that Korea has, especially as Kim Jung Gi was growing up. While visiting, our tour guide for Korea introduced us to a common Korean phrase, ppalli, which means hurry, hurry. She would say ppalli to us to quickly move from one stop to another, and we started picking it up. We would say ppalli to anything that moved into each other all the time. The spirit of it comes from Korea's rapid economic growth because they had to speed up, catch up, and move fast after World War II.
It's so soft.
Despite their small size and limited resources, the entire country literally propelled themselves forward, going from one of the world's poorest countries in 1960 to a middle-income country by 1980, and now, who doesn't know Blackpink and BTS?
I love how in Korea and Seoul you can see this beautiful blend of really old structures but mixed with touches of modernity, really old buildings but with CCTVs.
Almost all restaurants, in fact, I found out, use the exact same metal bowls when serving food because the country mass manufactured these to be a specific size to ration out rice.
In Korea, everyone uses these metal chopsticks to eat, and I am so bad at using those metal chopsticks.
It reminded me so much of the creative world, We're constantly in this ppali mindset as creatives. We have to keep up with trends. We have to post often, improve quickly. A lot of people call it the art grind, the grind set mindset. Because the truth is, there is a limited amount of art jobs. There's a real competitive economy out there, and certainly not made any easier with AI. During art school, it's a known phenomenon that students barely sleep, and during my own finals, I slept right in the classroom in order to save time on transportation to finish a painting. It embedded this sense of urgency into my bones that if I wasn't constantly drawing, my life could fall apart. And it really put this pressure on my art. It wasn't a cute hobby anymore. It genuinely felt like life or death. And yet, there are people out there, like Jung Gi, who never lose sight of the fun. During this trip, when we, as a band of artists, went through all of Korea, we were just living life and experiences. We would find time to sketch and draw, not because we felt like we had to, but purely because it was a fun thing to do together. And it was honestly one of the best trips of my entire life. We didn't do anything crazy like skydive or stay at luxury hotels, but we just sketched when it felt right, and we soaked in the journey when it didn't feel right. I let go of expectations. I stopped fearing mistakes, and I ended up drawing so much more than I had imagined. We shared tools, traded stories, and filled our sketchbook with memories.
This is the South Korean flag. That's me. And then there's me. There's a really sick guy right next to me.
Oh.
And I was just like me side-eyeing him a little bit. And then
Traveling with artists reminded me how lucky I am to love what I do, to be connected through art, and to rediscover this simple joy of creating.
Yeah. Last
Before we left, Hyunjin showed us Kim Jung-gi's very last unfinished drawing, a workshop scene in France. Seeing it half finished was already haunting, but what Hyunjin said next sent shivers down my spine. He pointed to the back of Kim Jung-gi's head in the illustration, which had a crying eye, and he said in all his life he had never seen Jung-gi draw a crying eye. And in the corner, you see a vase with white flowers. Kim Jung-gi rarely drew flowers, and it seemed like a decorative choice until we learned that white chrysanthemums, which is what he drew, symbolized death in Korea. Perhaps Kim Jung-gi knew that he was gonna die. I asked Hyunjin if Kim Jung-gi had any hobbies outside of art, and Hyunjin said no. Aside from recently picking up motorcycling, he just drew. He would eat, sleep, and draw. In this moment, seeing, quite honestly, probably the pinnacle of human capability when it comes to art, I thought to myself, I admire that kind of dedication, but I don't want it for myself. This was how Kim Jung-gi had fun in his life. But the way that I have fun are things like cafe hopping, dancing, live music, deep conversations, and not bringing my sketchbook to those things. And if loving those things means I can't become the world's greatest artist, I'm okay with that. And right then, I felt a burden released from my shoulders. Hello and welcome to Inventory Intermission. It's the person who always asks, what are you using? To which I answer, I got you. I think in every single video where I talk about sketching, I'm literally using the same three things. Has not changed. Color pencil, Sailor Shikiori, and Mildliner. But when I do go to a different country, I do enjoy trying to find something completely new that I haven't seen before. My friends and I, we went to this little art shop in Korea called Homie Art Shop. I call it little, it's actually not very little at all. We stumbled upon some of the most ridiculous art tools ever, and we literally just bought whatever we thought looked ridiculous.
So the brush is made of squirrel hairs?
Oh yeah.
Wait. Let me look at this brush. Yeah, how many squirrels do you need? Does it look like it's low-key like a bondage or I don't know, like
it's one of those.
What? Wait, you can use it on your finger? I would be so down to get this if it was not $32. Okay, imagine this. This is for your artist training art. You should have like
Boot camp.
yeah, boot camp. Yeah, exactly. This is hilarious to me. I have no idea what this is for.
So one of the things that I took home is this Viarco, I don't even know what it's called. I just saw it. It looks so silly. And when I was doing this piece, I really wanted to do a piece inspired by what I saw with Jung Gi, where he was just having so much fun. I wasn't taking it too seriously. And with this, when you're drawing with this, I'm sorry, but I can't take this seriously whatsoever. So I sketched with this to be super, super loose and to do a sketch inspired by some of the things that I saw in Korea. For example, there's a really strong toothbrushing culture in Korea, and also Hongdae, which is kind of like this up-and-coming hipster scene with a lot of like Y2K shops, homemade goods. It was a place that was super fun and artsy that just made me so happy when I was there. And so I want to do a piece inspired by like all of those things, all while being super silly and super fun. Would I recommend this to draw with?
I love doing one-line sketches. Like I used to draw faces.
I don't know what he's holding.
It's incredibly artistic. No, truly, it's incredibly artistic.
Yeah, it does look like drawing.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't think I'm using this correctly, but it's my money and I will use it how I like it. So with that, happy sketching. Everything my friends had feared about becoming a professional artist turned out to be true. Art stopped being just a hobby. It became all-consuming, exhausting, and at times incredibly isolating. But even through the hardest parts, I have no regrets. This trip and the amazing artists I met along the way reminded me of something important. The joy in creating never truly disappears. Sometimes it just needs room to breathe.
Thank you so much.
So if you ever feel burnt out or disconnected from your art, or have had the same fear of ever falling out of love with your practice, I want to give you peace of mind. That love will always be there. It's simply waiting to be rediscovered.